हिंदुस्तान के लोगों को दो चीजों से बहुत लगाव है, एक है माँ और एक है सिनेमा।
Indian cinema in one line.
Appreciated and liked by every community.
Call it a capsule of its own or a world of its own.
A place where I can live hundreds of lives.
Yeah, I just love the job, I love the craft, I love the madness.
There's no business like show business.
There's something pious about it. There's something pure about it.
ड्रीम सेलर है जान।
Song, dance, dancing, colorful, love, family, drama.
First introduction to our country is through our films.
Three things that work in India: politics, cricket and Bollywood. It's a hug. It makes you your own. It just engulfs you. It's hypnotic.
In India, you have many states. You have Gujarat, you have Maharashtra, you have Tamil Nadu, you have West Bengal and so on. There is one more state that is called Hindi cinema.
People who invented the cinema, the Lumiere brothers, made their presentation in 1893. But by 1896, they had come to Bombay and presented their invention. We were among the first countries of the world that adopted cinema. Dadasaheb Phalke in 1913 decided that he would make a full-length feature film, Raja Harishchandra, which was the first film ever made in India. After that, of course, we've never looked back.
If you go back to our history of Indian cinema, which is now over 100 years old, the initial stages was more respectful and dedicated to our mythologies. Then there were films that revolved around how we needed to get our independence, to be our own nation, how we were wishing to be getting rid of any intruder or any invasion. And subsequently, when we were free from the British Raj, we concentrated on a lot of the morals that society was, wanting to project.
हमको तेरी कसम तेरी राहों में जहाँ तक लुटा जाएंगे भूल क्या चीज़ है तेरे कदमों पे हम भेंट अपने सरों की चढ़ा जाएंगे ऐ वतन हमको तेरी कसम.
If you interpret these three letters, Bha, R and T, so Bharat के भा से भाव, emotions, sentiments, R से रस, gist, arc, and T से ताल, beat, which is universal. So भाव, रस और ताल, emotions, gist and beat, इसका जो combination है वो भारत है, जो पूरी तरह से भारतीय सिनेमा में, हिंदी सिनेमा में झलकता है.
I went around with a camera like yours and a mic asking people, भैया Bollywood जाना है, कितने पैसे लगेंगे? Cab driver, auto driver, and nobody knew where Bollywood was. They didn't take me. Finally, one took me to Amitabh Bachchan's house. So I rang the bell. I told Amit ji, you're the culprit. आपके घर लेके आए. And he also hates the term Bollywood.
I actually don't use the term Bollywood. Now it's part of the dictionary, so there's not much you can do about it.
It's the most cosmopolitan state.
It comes back to who we are as a people. It's the comfort, it's the excitement, it is the familiarity of what is us and what is ours.
If you take democracy to mean people power, then this is the ultimate democracy.
It can lead you to a place where you normally don't go.
Hindi cinema is a fantasy world where every single person, whether you live in difficulty, poverty, whatever, that is one way of escaping that.
Fact is stranger than fiction.
If you want to discover India, you should just watch Bollywood films.
Cinema just gives us that space. When you go into that hall, you forget everything.
Both the Hindi films, the content that is created, but it's also the Hindi film industry. So it's both the world and what the world creates.
We've always enveloped people. There are people from different religions and castes, and creeds and beliefs. We all work together for one final product. And the final product is something that is loved by millions and millions of people.
What is it about the Indian films and Hindi films primarily that is so attractive to an Indian? Is the need to be entertained. From the time that we became an independent nation, there was this thing about wanting to be entertained. So we've become a country which the viewers themselves have made Indian cinema evolve in the way it has, that its main focus is on entertainment.
हमारे यहाँ बम्बई में होता है, it's called भेल पूरी. So lots of little things and it's put together and you eat it. Bollywood will become a bhel puri of Indian culture. So you will take something from the south, from the east, from the north, from Hindus, from Muslims, from this. So everything is put together. It became like a representation of the entire Indian so-called culture. People loved it. It was like a circus. कि जाओ रो भी, हंसो भी, गाना भी देखो, डांस भी देखो, थ्रिल भी देखो, ऊपर ट्रपीज भी होगा, सब. So that's basically what it is. It's a great circus, the great Indian circus.
It's such an incredible celebration. We as Indians are festive by nature. All our festivals, all our weddings, all our traditions, our culture is so colorful and musical, and we have dance, we have textures, fabrics. That celebration is something that we see our cinema bring to life on celluloid.
All us Indians, no matter where we grow up, what kind of exposure we have, what leanings we have culturally, I think at the end of the day, a Bollywood masala film is enjoyed by each and all.
I think Bollywood stands like an amalgamation of a variety show. And it's a variety show not because we can't make up our mind what story to tell, but we have so many diverse people, not only in the country, but in a household that we need to cater to. So our cinema needs to start catering to the lady who's 96, to the child who's 6-year-old, because cinema watching is a community affair in our country. It's not a single solo individual thing. You will find more often than not a family sitting together, like they sit for dinner or lunch or for a prayer meeting, and say together, "Ye wali picture dekhte hain. Let us watch a film together." You got to make a film which brings about togetherness and makes all of them happy together. It's like cinema is like Diwali and Eid. You know, you wear your best clothes, you look your best, you hug each other, you feel happy, and you stay with the family. So our cinema is a festival. Hollywood doesn't describe Hollywood as a genre. It's just Hollywood. That's where films are made. Bollywood even describes a genre, apart from where it is made. We have one of the oldest film industries, the highest production status in the world of films in all languages, and a huge amount of audience. There is such recognition and love, or at least intrigue, if not love, for what is Indian cinema, how does it work, and it's song and dancing, it's so colorful.
This formula, this structure is not invented by Hindi cinema. It has been inherited. A traditional Nautanki, which is hundreds of years old, a Sanskrit plays which are thousands of years old, like Shakuntalam, like Mirchikatika, Ram Leela, Krishna Leela, Jatra. All, if you look at the traditional theatre of India, traditional way of telling a story was this. So the moment we started making talking film, Ala Mara, we had no confusion at all. The very first film had 50 songs.
मेरा जूता है जापानी ये पतलून इंग्लिस्तानी सर पे लाल टोपी रूसी फिर भी दिल है हिंदुस्तानी.
Even though we had song and drama necessary for our films, but they were imbibed in a way that they became part, harmoniously, organically they became part. And they became the USP, they were the strength of our storytelling.
Everything in India is about its music. Our culture is musical. So when song and dance happens in our movies, it's our way of telling stories. The story goes forward. People listen to it on the radio. They come in to watch a movie because of a song. I mean, that's a phenomenon that will never happen anywhere else in the world except India. And it's so unique to us.
नाच गाना और वो सारी चीज़ें लोगों को बहुत पसंद आती है. और हमारे यहाँ 5 गाना जब तक नहीं होगा तो पैसा वसूल नहीं होता है, तो वो तो डालते ही हैं. Serenading goes on since years and years. I mean, you used to watch the fairy tale like you're sitting down and romancing your lady up there. Khubsurat poetry, song, music is the oldest that we have. We have Ganpati Bappa playing Pakhavaj. We have double veena played by Ramana. So its music is part of us.
I have driven in obscure portions of North India and where a cassette is gone on, and I've seen truck drivers start weeping, and I've seen ordinary people kind of get so moved. And the power of music, I think Hindi film music, it's a genre of its own, you know. And I think that the power of that music to connect people.
It's music, dance, romance and love. Love for not only for your beloved, not only for a woman, but love for mother, love for motherland, love for Guru.
Our cinema offers such larger than life stories, such larger than life characters and people. and the audience feels like they're mine, that belongs to me. There's a certain ownership that the Hindi film fans have to their actors. But that's our culture. We love with passion as people. And I think that's a representation of who we are as family members, as friends. The West doesn't have as much of that. It's very like self-dependent. Not just Indian fans, film fans of the Hindi films feel so passionately about it because Hindi films drive passion. Every kind of it, in every emotion. You can feel them in all your senses when you watch a Hindi film.
I love you, Charlie. This is like the most happiest moment of my life right now. And I've been waiting for 10 years.
Really excited to see Deepika Padukone.
Lungi dance, lungi dance. We love you, Shara.
Today when a Bollywood film opens, they were opening abroad in a very few theatres. Today they are opening in front of the latest movies in the same time, and they are garnering as much as the income that even the Bollywood films, Hollywood films are gathering. So we are not less to anybody in the world. We are not second to the world. In fact, we are the largest movie production unit in the world.
They don't come to Hindi films to watch great special effects because those guys are doing it way better. But they're coming to see a morality, a certain value system that Hollywood doesn't offer. It's about a country that really has a moral center. And maybe the younger guys, it's beautiful people, it's beautiful clothes, maybe that's all there is. But it is an umbilical cord.
There's a spiritual yearning for home sometimes with these Indians who live in the States and in England. The Indian film actor symbolizes something about home that they're particularly fond of. So sometimes they react even more warmly and loudly to you in, let's say London or in America. They do, yeah.
I used to ask my father during his last days, every evening he would come out into the hall and want to see a Hindi film, one of my films. And I used to ask him, why do you do this? He said, because I get poetic justice in 3 hours. You and me will not get poetic justice in a lifetime, perhaps several lifetimes. That's what Indian cinema is all about.
I'm still a big believer of the magical part of cinema, which gives you hope, which people might say is escapist. But I think cinema has to let you escape a little. Cinema will always adhere. They will only talk about good versus evil, and good hopefully will always win. It's not that it's kept the idea alive. I think it is the idea everyone really believes in. That's why it's alive. Like, cinema does reflect the society, it's not the other way around. I truly believe that. So if we are selling good over evil and hope over despair, then that means a majority of 1.2 billion people, or everyone who watches Hindi cinema, believes in good over evil, believes in hope over despair. And we are just repackaging and selling that idea. We're just telling you the same thing that you want to hear. Everybody wants to hear good stories. Everybody wants to feel good about things.
They work like one big family. So there is this whole system of breaking the auspicious coconut on every day of shooting. That's considered very auspicious as far as Hindu mythology is concerned, amongst Hindus. But whether it's a Muslim social being made, whether the director is Muslim or Christian, I think this is one thing that is observed on every set.
Saurabh, ready?
I think this is the most cosmopolitan state of the country, where you can see everyone coexist so happily, and you don't really, when you're on the set, I don't think anybody feels that you are from Gujarat or you are from Delhi or you are from Mumbai. I don't think we even remember our religions when we are on set.
We Indians as a people are all about family. I think it's so naturally ingrained in us. We are raised like that culturally, and that does exist even within our film industry. What's wonderful about the diversity of our cinema is where you pretty much cover every aspect of what we can possibly socially represent about us to people who do not know us as a people or a country or a culture, because our country itself is diverse. Through our cinema, we get to show all of that.
हमारी जो इंडस्ट्री है उसको मैं क्या बोलूँ कि असली जो हमारा हिंदुस्तान है वो अब आप किसी भी एंगल से सोच लीजिए. अगर आप नेशनल इंटीग्रेशन के लिए देखें, इंटरटेनमेंट के लिए देखें, म्यूज़िक के लिए देखें, पोइट्री के लिए देखें, असली जो हिंदुस्तान है उसको रिप्रेजेंट करता है तो सिर्फ हमारी फिल्म इंडस्ट्री करती है. और हिंदुस्तान का जो असली स्वरूप जो आज़ादी के बाद सोचा था वो भी सिर्फ हमारी फिल्म इंडस्ट्री में ही है. यहाँ के आपका नाम और आपकी ज़ात, आपकी कौम है ना, उससे आपको काम नहीं मिलता, ना उससे इज़्ज़त मिलती. आपको सिर्फ अपने काम से इज़्ज़त मिलती है. आप यहाँ पे हिंदू आदमी मुसलमान का रोल करता है, मुसलमान हिंदू का रोल करता है. यहाँ पे शकील बदायूनी भजन लिखता है, रफ़ी साहब गाते हैं, नौशाद कंपोज करते हैं.
ये देश है वीर जवानों का, अलबेलों का, मस्तानों का, इस देश का यारो, इस देश का यारो क्या कहना, ये देश है दुनिया का गहना.
One of the things that happens when you in cinema is that whoever you create, the character, if he has to be your hero, has to be inclusive. He has to include, he cannot be exclusive.
कोई शक.
सारा शहर मुझे लॉयन के नाम से जानता है. मैं हूं खलनायक. मोगेम्बो खुश हुआ.
Hindi cinema is one of the binding forces of this diverse society. And as far as the language is concerned, these Hindi, they are called Hindi films, but they are actually not Hindi films. They are Hindustani films. And because most of the writers, most of the songwriters have been from Urdu discipline, and the language they have written, and even today people who write in Devanagari, they also, the language that they write in cinema is Hindustani.
खून से खेलेंगे होली, गर वतन मुश्किल में है, सरफरोशी की तमन्ना अब हमारे दिल में है.
Largely because of Hindi cinema, acceptance of the language, and particularly the manner in which it is spoken in the cinema, not necessarily by people, literary pundits and so on, but the manner in which it is spoken in films has become the language of the country.
कश्मीर से कन्याकुमारी न जाने कितनी भाषाएं चेंज हो जाती हैं. इधर गोवा से मेघालय पता नहीं कितनी भाषाएं चेंज हो जाती हैं. परंतु ये पूरा देश, अगर इसका पॉजिटिव साइड बताओ, हिंदी फिल्म के गानों के माध्यम से जुड़ा हुआ है.
भारत का रहने वाला हूँ, भारत की बात सुनाता हूँ, है प्रीत जहाँ की रीत सदा.
ये गाना जो है, ये आप किसी जगह पर भी, किसी भी भारतीय को सुना दीजिए, वो मुसलमान हो, वो बौद्ध हो, वो जैन हो, वो हिंदू हो, वो पारसी हो, वो सिख हो, इस गाने के लिए वो बहुत रिसेप्टिव है।
Cinema is a habit in our country. Brushing teeth and watching films is as natural a phenomena to each other. That's how we are in India. We watch films. All of us watch films. We love watching films with families. And yeah, I don't think anybody's ever unwatched or not watched a film depending on the nature of what caste, creed, religion, color the artists performing or making the film belong to.
Indian cinema, because of our own construct and our own constitution and what our forefathers designed the country to be, has always adhered to that. When we stand in the queue to buy a ticket to see a Hindi film or sit in a theatre which is a darkened hall, we never ask the caste, creed or the religion of the person sitting next to us. But we see the same film, we enjoy the same story, we laugh at the same jokes, we sing the same songs, we cry at the same emotions. There aren't many institutions left in the world that can claim to be so integrated as cinema is. In fact, Indian cinema, I would say.
I think we have been an inclusive society till now. We have been interdependent. We have submerged into each other.
It would not be incorrect on my part to say that the film industry and the show business and the film fraternity is actually representative of an ideal nation, of an ideal country, an ideal secular space, where the only thing that should actually matter is how competent you are, how good you are at your job.
चलो प्रकाश ले आ आजा झुक जा नीचे अभी
Whatever I am today is because of the industry and its people. And I found what is more encouraging about India, that's the only reason why I will never leave my country. You know, I probably have the best opportunities to be able to work abroad, settle there, make more money, but I will never leave my country. That's only the primary reason being that it allows me to be what I am. You know, the diversity of this nation allows me to be what I am.
You may have, scenes where somebody who's suffering greatly goes and prays to an idol, and then wishes that are there are fulfilled in one way or another. You may think is basically Hindu or basically Christian or whatever, but people of all communities relate to all of that. What it tells you that India is that kind of a country anyway. That despite the fact that we are very diverse and sometimes we fight among each other, but overall there is an adhesive factor that between communities, between religions, between languages, and one of the things that Hindi cinema tries to do is to constantly reinforce that value.
Every coin, however thin it is, has two sides. Being diverse is a good thing. Being divisive is not. There are not going to be divisive forces in large numbers, especially in our country. We are a non-violent nation by nature. We are a creed and collection of human beings, humanity, who have not attacked anyone. We don't fight. If you honestly ask me, I think India is an art itself. It cannot be divisive. It cannot have a religion. It cannot have a dividing religion. It cannot have any force which would say, like art has no religion. I think a country really has no religion and all of them amalgamated together. Like cinema stands for this beautiful non-communal community feeling. I think exactly like that. India is cinema. I like to believe that India is a beautiful painting, and all colors just enhance each other. And you take away one color or start saying this color is better than the other, I think the painting is not a painting anymore.